Howdy, howdy, fellow movie fans, and welcome to this long-awaited edition of the Wisco Movie Watchers podcast, brought to you by PTE Creative. As always, we are your hosts, Evan and Dylan Davies. It's been a couple weeks since we've actually had a new episode. We've had quite the time here, Dylan. We've tore down part of your home. We've traveled across the country to get beautiful wildlife shots and footage for other stuff. Went to Yellowstone, went to Grand Teton, had a grand old time out in the American West. So it kind of coincided with all of our stuff happening, and just, I think Dylan needed one, but I certainly will speak for myself. I needed a mental reprieve for a while after that, so hence the reason no real show got up on that, but that's A-okay. We're back for our favorite time of the year. It's spooky season, baby!
Yeah.
And Dylan, what on earth have you done to me for this show?
Yeah, so this is not my original idea. With all fairness, I got it from with Gorley and Rust, where they covered all the Halloween movies in order. And then they brought up in the episode for Halloween 6, they would love to show someone who has never seen the Halloween movies to watch the first and to watch the 6th one, and then try to tell like what they think happens in between, because they have pretty much zero connection, like in terms of theme and style.
Yeah, and you have unwittingly found yourself the person to do that with.
So I knew you had never seen any of the. I thought maybe you had seen the third one, but apparently you've only seen parts of it.
Yeah, I've seen I don't know, an hour of it on TV.
Okay.
13 years ago, so it's a while ago.
Yeah, and the Season of the Witch is one that does not connect to anything else in the franchise.
Right.
So, it was the perfect experiment to try it. So, I guess right off the bat, since you've never seen it, what did you think of the first Halloween?
So I'll cover both. I honestly, so it should be said, the text message I sent my beloved younger brother after watching Halloween and Halloween 6 back to back, mostly about Halloween 6, was, what the fuck did I just watch?
Oh, yeah.
Because, what? Now, I will say, I don't think Halloween 6 is devoid of positives. And I'm not saying it's many, but I didn't think, I was ready for it to literally be one of the worst things I've ever watched. Halloween is not a franchise that usually intrigues me. Granted, through the show, I have seen now a couple slasher films, the early slasher films, where people lost the point of what the slasher movie was. It was just another way to tell a horror story, and you can tell through the first one that it's not just blood, gore, stab, 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 stab everywhere.
Oh, definitely not, because it's a lot more like Texas Chainsaw.
Yes.
Where there is no gore.
No.
Like, it's all implied gore. It's never overtly shown or anything.
Yes.
Which, obviously, that's the stuff I prefer. Once you get into the 80s, that's when you really start getting into, like, fetishizing a lot of the kills. And that's what kind of becomes the draw to those movies.
Yeah.
For most people. But yeah, the first Halloween, there's no gore at all.
Yeah, there's virtually nothing there outside of a little blood here and there.
Yeah.
Most of the kills are actually strangulation. So it's also spoilers for a movie that's 50 years old if you really need a spoiler warning. It's 78.
I think most people either know about it or have seen it. So.
Right. And it's an interesting... That's what I found myself enjoying about Halloween. It's the same thing I had when we watched Black Christmas for the show. And what was the other one that we watched for the show from that era? No, we didn't watch Texas Chainsaw. We just talked about Texas Chainsaw a lot. I love a horror movie, but I just want it to be... I don't like the slasher movies that were the cup of tea of everybody growing up in our age group. Where we'd already... Freddy Krueger, Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, they were already the icons that had been overdone way too many times.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the Halloween 6 It's coming out at like, I would literally say like the death of slashers until the next year, which is Scream. And
Yeah.
that like totally revitalizes it, but in a totally different way.
Yeah.
Because Halloween 6 is 95, which, just to put it into context, Jason Goes to Hell is the nearest Friday the 13th movie, and that's 1993. And that's like universally regarded as the worst one. That or Jason X. They're both really shit. Like, they are awful. And then Nightmare on Elm Street has, I think 94 is New Nightmare, which that's like, it's kind of in the Scream mode where it's very, very meta. Like, it's referencing its own franchise within the franchise.
Okay.
It's not everyone's cup of tea. I don't really like it that much, but like, this is definitely coming out at the tail end of what those franchises were.
They needed a shot in the arm, and they kept trying to give themselves a shot in the arm, and it just wasn't. They needed a new recipe. They needed something new. And the thing is, this is like, it's they do it to themselves because everyone tries doing the same thing over and over and over again, and they do exactly what you said. They fetishize kills, they fetishize the gore, and I'm not saying I don't like that from time to time if it's done properly. It's kind of it wouldn't be the show if I don't somehow bring up pro wrestling psychology or just general entertainment psychology. You can do the big thing once and work, but you can't do it for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, like the best wrestling territories back in the day, if they brought in like a hardcore, like blood and guts wrestler, they wouldn't do blood and guts for like 6 months after that because they're like, they just saw two guys try to kill each other. So if they see that happen, it's not going to matter if two guys try to kill each other the next week. You can't do that. You got to wait. It's the same thing in these slasher films where you can do Halloween 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It doesn't matter how often you do it. It has to be slightly different, but it's about the fear and the emotion brought up by the camera work, which I thought was superb. That was the best part of the original Halloween for me. Dean Cundy.
Yeah, I mean,
I was flabbergasted and so happy to see Dean Cundy was the DP on that film.
exactly. Like, that's why I think it still holds up, is because it looks so great.
The camera work creates this atmosphere where you feel unsettled the entire time, and it's tremendous to see. And I absolutely adore that portion of the film. And it's atmosphere built. They don't show you Michael Myers up close ever until the end. They do the classic monster reveal where it's like, we're going to make you... The monster's going to be 20 times bigger than it actually is because you've built it up in your head. More so. And it's like, no, they show him. It's like, yeah, but they show him off in the distance as this ghoulish specter. They don't actually show you his size up front. So then the whole time you're building up in your head, oh my god, what is this thing?
Yeah. And that's one of the things I really like about the first one is he's not like a monster.
No.
Yet. If you've seen the Rob Zombie Halloween, it's a professional wrestler. Tyler Mane, I think is his name.
Well, Tyler Mane played Sabretooth in X-Men. He is not... I don't recall Mane ever becoming a professional wrestler because originally Kevin Nash, the professional wrestler, was supposed to be Sabretooth. And then he would have been... And he and Mane look really similar for long stretches of their careers.
Yeah, Tyler Mane plays it in the zombie movies, and he's just like this big hulk of a guy. Like, it becomes ridiculous in terms of like, yeah, he just looks like a monster.
Yeah.
Like, and that's where it becomes like, this happens in the Friday the 13th movies as well, where it's just like super powered.
Yes.
Like, they can do anything they want because they're so strong and such a big force. Whereas, like, first one, like, he is strong, but he's not, like, anything remotely supernatural at all. Yes, he does get shot 6 times at the end. That's, like, when it becomes a little bit ridiculous.
But again, that's a great tease of something, and you could even do the supernatural over time if you just slowly eked it out. But
Yeah, that's what all these franchises have to do to sustain themselves.
and that's the thing is it's also I have a question once we start me trying to actually guess this timeline.
Yeah.
But overall my thoughts on Halloween 1 is whether you like it or not, because I know not Halloween's not everyone's cup of tea, but Halloween has a very clear and coherent vision of what it wants to be, how it wants to present people, how it wants to present characters. That is what John Carpenter is good at, is having a clear vision of what he wants to achieve and do it. And as someone who loves John Carpenter, Escape from New York is in my top 25. I absolutely adore that film. I like They Live. Halloween, I would say I now enjoy Halloween as well. I enjoy his work, his earlier work, when it's very clear and coherent of what he wants to do, and he has a vision in the way he presents things. After They Live, gets a little dicey, but nonetheless,
I always think of John Carpenter as just someone who just stopped giving a shit.
yes,
Like, it just seems like to be the case with him. I don't know why, but like after the '80s, it just seems like he was like, whatever, I don't fucking care.
well, also he's a really unique cat who makes the music for half his movies and stuff, and it's just so interesting to see that. But yes, like I've heard some third-hand knowledge as well, where like he just doesn't treat people very well at all, and
Mm-hmm.
and he's just very self-important, and that kind of coincides right with the timeline of when he starts thinking he's really self-important.
I don't. He doesn't strike me as very pretentious. He doesn't seem to think of anything as sacred.
No.
Like he's said about all the Halloween movies. Like he loves when they start making another one because the studio just hands him a check and says, "We're making another one."
Yep.
And then he's just like, "Okay, I don't fucking care." Like he's not precious about anything he makes.
No. Well, you can tell because Escape from L.A.
Oh
is. And the thing is this, I will
like-
admit, I haven't seen The Thing yet, but from the big ones of his early career, Escape from New York is going to be a very, very hard movie to top in my head.
Yeah, I think I would say most people think The Thing is his best movie.
Oh, wow,
I don't
okay.
think so. I don't love The Thing like everyone else does. The Thing is kind of like Heat in a way to me. Like everyone just lauds it as like this great movie, and it has a lot of like great like practical effects and makeup and stuff. But I it's just not my cup of tea.
Okay, I mean, I'm interested to see it. I also loved knowing that The Thing was coming for him in his future when he's making it, that they had the original Thing on as a movie in Halloween. You could tell he cared about that and wanted to do his own thing already.
And that's one of those weird things where I'm like, did you have that idea that you wanted to remake it, or was that just a reference you wanted in there?
Well, I think clearly no matter what, he likes it and he wants to do something with it. And that's super cool. But I think the camera work is by far the best part about the original Halloween. I will go into some negatives too, but I'm glad you're taking us this route because I wanted to talk about both films and their actual positives and negatives. I don't think any of these teenage girls are convincing teenage girls.
That's one thing that I just chalk up to the times.
Yeah, that's not what they did.
Like, and the thing is, Deborah Hill, who I think was married to John Carpenter at the time, she rewrote all the dialogue for all the girls to make it somewhat believable. Because, like, apparently they were just, like, beyond tropes in the original part.
Sure.
So I do buy their chemistry as friends, at least.
Yeah, I can give you that.
There's, like, you get into, like, the big example I can think of is Friday the 13th Part 4, where, like, it's this group of kids that you would never buy as friends because they're all types of characters. That, like, you just don't see that in a friend group where one person's the nerd, one person's, like, the jokester, and they all hate each other. But, like, for some reason they're thrown in as a group of friends.
Yes, ironically, I just spent some time with. I have a sidebar story for you for off the show, but obviously you know one of my best friends, Sam, that that we grew up with. I just spent some time with Sam a couple days ago, and we were reminiscing about all these people we grew up with and what happened to those people. And yes, looking back at all those friend groups, I'm like, none of those friend groups have 5 or 6 distinct personalities
Yeah.
by typecasting in those
Yeah.
groups.
Archetypes.
Everyone is kind of one, maybe 2 archetypes that kind of flip flop a little moldish, and then
Yeah, exactly.
maybe later in life that they became they're clearly this kind of person or this kind of person.
Sure.
But at the time, we all were pretty similar archetypal characters,
Yeah.
if you wanted to make it sad. So yes, it is difficult when to see that. I do buy the chemistry between the girls, that they're at least friends. I buy that. I think it's just tough because Jamie Lee Curtis, I know she's only 20 when she makes this movie, or when the movie comes out, but Jamie Lee Curtis is one of those young women that looks like she's 25 when she's 20, and it's just like, and then God bless her. PJ Souls does not look 16 or 17 in this movie whatsoever.
That's just the times though. Like they were never gonna cast. Like it's like Grease, same exact year.
Yeah,
Does any of those kids look like high schoolers? Hell no.
I could buy Putsy a little bit.
He's the only one.
And maybe Jan. Maybe.
No, see, she strikes me as like 40 years old in that movie.
It's a little strange, yeah, but like maybe the woman who plays Marty, you're like, maybe. You can go maybe. That's about it. You know what I'm saying? Like you just have to get to maybe. And that's the thing, is like, I understand it sucks because Jamie Lee Curtis at this point has just become an icon. So it's hard to, and it's hilarious that we're doing this right after she just did Freakier Friday, and she's now the internet's thirst trap currently, which is fucking hysterical to think about. That
I didn't know that.
50 years after she was an original Scream Queen thirst trap, she's back to being a thirst trap. The thing is this, you need to see one, all you need to know to understand that is she did one picture for the, like, press circuit, and she's in this outfit, and it's just it's hilarious how many women that have been around me talking about, they're like, I did not know she had those. Okay, I get it. And I'm like, alright, cool. Like, I don't have to tell you. Yes, Jamie Lee Curtis is a good looking woman, but I don't, this has never been a secret, guys. Like, okay.
True, yeah. Well, one of the things I like about it is, like, for one, it's introducing Jamie Lee Curtis. So this is her first movie.
Yeah.
And she clearly has, like, obviously she is a Nepo baby. Like, let's just be honest. Both of her parents are world famous actors. But, like, she clearly has at least talent to back it up.
This was kind of the age of that, where
Yeah.
there's still that system where you could just get it. I mean, look, at that same time, the year before, you get the world's favorite Nepo baby of all time that no one talks about as a Nepo baby, but she is a Nepo baby, and Carrie Fisher. Where, like,
Yeah.
but no one talks about it because she's our beloved princess, and we don't give a fuck. We're like, ah!
It also helps that her last name is not synonymous with, like, nepotism.
Yes.
Whereas Jamie Lee Curtis, definitely, both of her names, like, are definitely, like, standouts in terms of acting.
Right. But she does have this. There are a couple scenes where I'm like, I get to that, maybe. It's just the way the camera's lit, the shot's lit, the camera's laid out. I'm like, maybe she is a 17-year-old girl. Maybe. Who cares? Which,
She looks young enough to me. I think all the girls look young enough to where it doesn't take me out.
Annie takes me out a little bit. I'm like, that is a grown-ass woman. That is a grown-ass woman as a babysitter. It also made it, I believe, yes. It also drives me insane. It doesn't drive me insane. That's not the right way to say that. But in typical fashion, I was already thinking about it. Ab was doing some work. and then she came out and like she made like a quick snack for herself, and she came out naturally right after Annie's character has that spill, so she puts on the shirt and she's just wearing underwear and a shirt, and she's like, who the fuck would wear this? What is this? And I was just like, well, it's a whole thing in the movie. She spilled on herself, so they're trying to set up this other place, and it's a whole thing. And she's just like, that's the best she could do. And I was just like, but all it could make me think is like, wow, yeah, this is clearly not a teen girl kind of thing. But at the same time, I'm like, whatever.
This is also, you have to remember, this is a time when, like, you know, pornography was not at the ready. You could look it up on your phone at any time. Like,
Right.
this is still a time when exploitation is in full effect during movies.
Oh yeah.
Like, nudity became part of the draw in those early 80s slasher movies, for sure.
Well, even here, even here, you're like, oh, like because I was like, because when I go back and watch a lot of the movies of the '60s and the '70s, and randomly there is nudity, I'm just not prepared for it because it's not really a thing outside of a few genres, and it really starts in the '60s and mostly the '70s. So yeah, when it does pop up, I'm like, what? Like what?
It starts in the 70s, but by the 80s, it's like you couldn't make a horror movie if you didn't have nudity. Like, that was pretty much an unwritten rule of that genre. I just did some math. So Nancy Loomis is 29, or I guess 28 while filming. PJ Souls was 27 while filming, and then Jamie Lee Curtis I did not look up, but
she's 19 or 20 when she's filming.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm pretty sure she's still young. Yeah, she's 19 while filming is going on. So I think she just looks more mature than...
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Is it just sucks because you have those two who are clearly not teenagers.
Yeah.
And then you have Jamie Lee Curtis, who is a teenager while filming, but does not look like a teenager at all. So it's just like, okay, that sucks. But yeah, I enjoy the atmosphere. The obvious, it's so abundantly clear. I understand we're from the Midwest and we understand what the Midwest looks like. Yeah. It's so abundantly clear that was not shot in the Midwest.
That's one of the things I wanted to ask you is, how much did you buy it as California shooting as Illinois?
It's fine once it becomes night.
Because it never strikes me as like, oh, we're definitely not in the Midwest. It definitely is too green to be the Midwest in October. 100%.
Well, in the 70s, yeah. Now, with 50 years extra global warming.
True.
Well, it's currently supposed to be, I think, a high... Like, we're shooting this Sunday, October 12th. I'm really wearing this hoodie mostly because it's Packer Day and I just want to put some Packer stuff on, right? But it's supposed to be like a high of 70 either today or tomorrow, so
yeah,
take that with what you will. Global warming's a real bitch, but don't worry.
One of the things I really love that they did is, like, I think they must have had like maybe 3 garbage bags full of leaves, and they would just take it from set to set because like they couldn't just keep it. Leaves were not falling. Like, I can look outside and I see some leaves have fallen already.
Yeah,
like that's not happening in California.
Right, and the thing is even people don't realize how much topography changes from the northern Midwest, specifically the northeastern corner of Minnesota and Wisconsin and upper Michigan. They're all Ice Age, like, carves, where people do not realize how much in our state literally is like this, because... I'm not saying they're like the most impressive hills in the world, but when you travel and you go north to south, you can definitely tell there's a lot of variation because it was carved by ice. Once you get to southern Wisconsin, and especially into Illinois, that motherfucker is flat. Like,
oh, yeah.
And then to see Dr. Loomis in the telephone booth, and there's mountains in the background, I'm like, that ain't the Midwest. Come on, guys.
Yeah. There was one note I wrote about Halloween 6 where... I can't remember what scene it is. I'm trying to look real quick. But like, yeah, you just see the clearest mountains of all time. Like, it's just like they don't even think about it. They're just like, whatever.
Well, the mountains are everywhere. It's like, no, no, they are not, my friend. This
Yeah.
is not in the
And,
Midwest.
and the funny thing is, in Halloween 6, it's actually the Rocky Mountains because they move production for 4, 5, and 6 to Utah.
That's a choice.
It is a weird choice. I have no idea why they chose Utah of all
Well,
places.
oddly, the thing is this. I don't know if it was just because I wasn't paying attention. No, I don't. I know exactly what it was. So going into Halloween, I know a bunch of trivia about Halloween. I've asked when I lead trivia and host trivia at events. I've asked Halloween questions, and of course I bring up what were the actual plates on the cars in Halloween and stuff like that, because it's such a natural lore that they forgot about the plates, so everyone's driving around with like California plates on in Haddonfield, Illinois. So I was like, okay, I know this isn't Illinois, and the first like 20 minutes, I was still kind of aware of that. I hadn't completely bought into the movie yet, and then I saw the mountains. I'm like, come on, guys. Where I think in Halloween 6, they have that first shot of daytime Halloween of the street. It's a little gloomy, but it's when the title cards come up of Haddonfield Halloween, and there's no mountains in the background because I was looking and I was like, they passed. And I think I just turned it off because then I didn't notice that mountain shot in the background because they passed the one that actually mattered. And I was like, you know what? A lot of Illinois would look like this. Just open fucking fields where they built subdivisions. And this is where trick-or-treating exists, sure.
The only one that I really buy is Halloween 4. And that's because literally in the first 5 minutes when they're going through the credit sequence, like they're setting up a lot of atmosphere. And it all passes for Midwest because it's like very rural, very like farm stuff. Like they show a lot of like Halloween decorations where it actually looks like fall. It does, where it's like not green, it's all oranges and yellows and browns. Like they go out of their way to set up atmosphere. Whereas like, yeah, that first Halloween, you can see palm trees in the back of shots all the time.
Yes. Nice, and that's the thing is, until they get to actual night, I think that's why it took me a little while to get in, because I would be impressed by some of the shots. I'd be impressed by how the way they were shooting it. But then all of a sudden I'd be like, that tree doesn't exist here. What are we doing?
Oh, the other thing that's a clear giveaway that it's not Wisconsin is the school. How like none of the hallways leading to different classrooms are indoors. It's all outdoor hallways.
I was going to say, it's not Midwest. I know we're just talking Wisconsin right now, but Illinois, yes, is the exact same. And yes,
yeah,
I noticed that right away, that the campus is an outdoor, open-air campus, and you're like...
You're never going to see that in wintry Wisconsin or Illinois.
Like, that can't happen in Illinois. It just can't, because it gets cold, and people would fucking freeze.
Yes.
But overall, I enjoy the first one. I don't think it is. I don't want to come off as crass. I don't think it's special. But I also understand, like, whereas when we watched Black Christmas, I was so thoroughly impressed by how much I enjoyed it that I went, no, there is something special to this. And Halloween, there are pieces of it I find very impressive, such as the cinematography, the atmosphere build. I love all that stuff. I like the restraint that is shown, to where almost like I had to kind of reframe my expectations, because I've seen like the Rob Zombie Halloween, I think like once, and like I've seen some other older slasher movies or some more recent slasher movies that people clearly were trying to ape Halloween, and you know, it's just kill as fast as possible.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, is like Halloween helps set up the blueprint for slashers.
Yeah.
Because it's really like Psycho, and then 14 years later is Texas Chainsaw and Black Christmas, and then 4 years after that is Halloween.
Yeah.
So it's like it at least doesn't follow tropes. Really, it's setting up tropes.
Yes, and the thing is, this is like, I actually love the cliffhanger. That's the one thing I don't like is when...
I think it has the best horror movie ending of all time. Like, period for me. Like, it's just such a simple idea, and it's executed so well because they don't have to explain anything. You perfectly understand, like, oh, this is still a lingering threat, but all they do is hold on different shots for 15 seconds.
Yeah. I appreciated it. I appreciated the fact that in a world where the franchise film hadn't become the norm, it was clearly meant to be well, you never know. He could be out there. It wasn't, but it was a clear. Now in today's world, that's an obvious. Well, we're getting a second one, whether we wanted it or not. We're getting a second one, and I think one that's a tool that's out of your toolbox as a creative that you can't kind of do some of that stuff now. You have to find a really unique way to leave it open-ended if you want to possibly go back and do more. But then at the same time, it's how audiences are jaded because they become jaded because of shit like this, where the first one's done really well, and then everyone's just like, then the second or third or fourth one happens, and everyone's like, well, doesn't matter if the guy's head gets cut off and the rest of his body's ground up by, fucking heavy machinery. He's going to come back next time anyways, so who cares kind of thing.
Yep.
Yeah. It's difficult and different, but...
So, let's transition a little bit into the Halloween 6. So, right off the bat, you get definite mysticism, I guess you would say. Like, it's fully become not grounded in reality at all. Like, the first one is definitely 100% grounded. There's no aspect of mysticism or supernatural in any way.
Yeah.
Like, and then Halloween 6, you jump straight... Oh, also, did you watch it on My Voodoo?
Yeah.
Okay. So, just for listeners, we watched the producer's cut, not the theatrical cut. The producer's cut is definitely, I hate to say it because it's giving a little bit of credit to the Weinsteins, but it's definitely the better of the two Halloween 6s. But it's also the one that's the most batshit crazy. Because, like, the ending with the little runes that Paul Rudd places on the ground, that's taken out of the theatrical cut. And then the theatrical cut has, like, a lot more gore, like the shitty dad character.
Yeah.
His head explodes in the theatrical cut. And then, like, it doesn't have, like, the classical, like, synth / orchestral score. It has, like, this really shitty, like, neo rock score. It's awful. It's just garbage. And then they take out a lot of, not a lot of it, but they do take out some of the, like, cultish aspects of it.
Which is hilarious that's the restraint cut.
Oh, the theatrical cut sucks. I think both movies suck, honestly. They're both bad, but I enjoyed the producer's cut just because of the weird choices they threw in there.
So here's what I'm going to say. I went in thinking this was going to be the biggest piece of dog shit I've ever seen. And while I don't think it's a high-quality film in the slightest, I don't think this is the worst movie I've ever seen. It's not good.
No.
But there was at least some form of craft and idea put into it that I at least, whether I agree with or not, I'm kind of like, and I guess from your words, it helps that I saw the producer's cut because although the choices in and of themselves are stupid to make, at least they committed to them. And they're a through line throughout the film as opposed to just fucking Irish pagan cult. And you're like, what? And all of a sudden it's just like, how? What? How did we get here?
That,
like, there's a through line throughout the whole thing, and there is things explained to where I go, this is dumb. This is a stupid choice, but at least you committed to it and you really stuck with that.
There's just a lot of nonsensical stuff too in the theatrical cut. Like the first time when Tommy, Paul Rudd sees Donald Pleasance,
Yeah.
Loomis, like Loomis just happens to be in a hospital in that cut because Jamie, the girl that gave birth, she dies in the theatrical cut at the very beginning. So Loomis has no reason to be at the hospital at all in the theatrical cut, and he just happens to be there when Tommy shows up. Like
What?
they show no effort to explain anything. It's so stupid.
Well, that's the thing. Is like what I liked was. I'm not saying there isn't plot holes. I'm sure I could go find a ton of plot holes, but
Yeah.
they didn't leave these giant threads like you're talking about hanging out in the producer's
Yeah.
cut. They're like, well, how does Dr. Loomis get involved? Well, everyone's listening to this really big radio show, and it's going to be a big part of the revitalization, quote unquote, of Haddonfield and all this kind of stuff. And then you find out, oh, that's what Dr. Loomis, he still believes Michael's out there. The portrayal of Tommy Doyle with Paul Rudd makes 0 sense.
Oh, it's a weird choice that he does.
Well, beyond
Also,
just his weird choices.
this is his first movie ever.
Right.
Clueless, technically, I think comes out prior to Halloween does. They're the same year. But I'm pretty sure he filmed Halloween before he filmed Clueless.
That's not shocking.
Because I'm pretty sure I've seen him talk about how, like, Clueless came out and he kind of became, like, this emerging star. And then immediately he was like, oh, shit. Halloween's about to come out. And I think he has some awareness of, like, I don't know if I'm very good in that movie.
So the thing is this, is like, it's not Paul Rudd's best performance. And Paul Rudd is a incredibly, incredibly likable actor and person from his outward persona.
He has charisma for days, and he has none in this movie.
No charisma, but there is a likability still. But here's the problem I have with it. Is this movie has no idea what they want to do with this fucking character. Because when they first present him, he's like this internet troll type character who's like fucking with people, and you're like, is he like some like weird worshiper type character, so to speak, where, you know, he like worships at the altar of Michael Myers or something. He's just been twisted in life that way, whatever the case may be. And it's one of those where you're just like, what are we doing? And he's just kind of slinking and creeping around, and
Well, they set him up like he's supposed to be like a red herring of some kind.
yes,
Like they set him up as a creep,
yes,
but then they never do anything with that idea.
exactly. And then he finds the baby, and the whole time he finds the baby, you're just uneasy because you're like, something's going to happen, and I'm not going to
Also,
like it.
That's the worst bus stop in the world. There's a baby hanging out in there for like 12 hours and no one notices.
There's just
There's
blood.
There's blood on the ground from the previous night. Like,
If you want to say
no,
there's blood in the phone closet, maybe,
yeah, that'd be fine.
maybe, but just giant pools of blood in the men's bathroom.
Yeah, it's so funny. And then like
What?
whatever that thing she puts the baby in, like what is that supposed to be in that bathroom? There's just so much nonsense in the movie that makes it fun.
So much nonsensical horse shit. I did like the overall atmosphere. There's just a doom and gloom about it that I do appreciate, and I like.
I think you'd really enjoy Halloween 4 then, because if you think you're getting atmosphere from 6, like Halloween 4 really does it a lot better.
I just think they did a good job of lighting it where nothing feels happy, nothing feels good.
Sure, I agree with that. Yeah,
It all feels very doom and gloom, and even in the moments where you think a character might be able to turn something around and be positive, there's just this. It looks like there's a cloud hanging overhead at all times. That I love. I don't understand the random thunder and lightning without rain towards the end of the film, but like, okay.
It's called the cinematographer said, "Hey, we could do this," and then the director goes, "Yep, but we're not going to put in the effort of rain because that's a bitch on set."
Exactly. And all you needed was one scene. One scene, and you could have got away with it, right?
Well, there's so much easy atmosphere that you could add to horror movies that people just don't add just because it's a pain in the ass to deal with.
Right.
Like rain is one of those things where uh, it's all over Friday the 13th Part 2, and then Friday the 13th Part 3, which is in 3D, that's a whole nother thing of like adds a layer of shit on top of a movie. But instead of rain as atmosphere, they just add like a windstorm because it's 10 times easier. Like it's so stupid, but it just makes you think like, is it really that big of a thing where it's like it adds to the movie at least, whereas like all these other things don't at all.
Well, I still remember. I can't remember if we talked about this on the show or not. I think we did. Friends of ours, we were doing like Sunday movie nights when it wasn't football season, and we got away from that from the summer because everyone's summer plans go to shit. But we were doing we were doing movie nights every Sunday, and we were just taking turns picking. And I picked the Page Master because the theme was pick a VHS movie from your household that like was something special to you. So I was like, all right, cool, I'll do Page Master. And even Page Master, I'm sorry everybody watching this that they're constantly getting me doing different things with the fucking shades in my home. I don't know what's better or worse, so I don't really give a fuck at this point. I'm just going to pull the shades up and call it a day. But, oh god, now I'm going to be blinded, but it'll be fine. So, I'm leaving all this in the edit. I don't give a fuck. So,
Yeah, whatever.
I remember, though, the reason I brought Page Master up is they put the effort in those live-action first scenes, where it's like a real dark and gloomy storm where there's thunder and lightning, but there is rain. And not just rain, hella rain for a while.
Yeah.
And I remember that always struck a chord with me as a young kid because I was like, that's a real big storm. That's scary if you're stuck out that by yourself with a bike.
Rain is instant atmosphere, and movies just don't go through the effort. Like, I think of like Seven. It's raining throughout a lot of that movie. If they took it out, it would take so much out of the movie.
Right. And so it's just difficult because I see that. I liked, like, there was almost a weird. If someone said, my introduction to spooky season, like when we talked about that in our episodes last year, where we said movies to get your kid into spooky season. The Hocus Pocuses of the world, the Caspers of the world, where you want to show them some live action stuff, and it's not just a cartoon, and you want to get them into the Halloween spirit. If someone said, oh yeah, as a kid of the 90s, I watched Hocus Pocus and stuff like that, and then a couple years later, when I was an early teen and hanging out with my friends, we watched Halloween 6, I would have been like, that's actually a perfect transition, because nothing's actually scary in Halloween 6.
Oh, not only not scary, there's zero suspense throughout the entire movie.
So I'd have been like, that's a logical transition in terms of ramping up what you do with spooky to horror, because it's not scary, it's not difficult, but it's all kind of atmospheric build of Halloween and fall and all that kind of shit. Because I'll give them this, they tried to shoot around some of the stuff that could make it look obviously like not fall, not Midwest. Like, some of the way the houses are shot, it almost gives me like northeastern towns a little bit, where they're bigger, older homes, and they're all like that for blocks.
Yeah.
And
I'm just going to assume that the Utah style of real estate is a lot closer to the Midwest than California.
yeah, to a degree, from what I was when I drove through Utah a couple times. Yeah, it's not crazy and similar.
At least Utah gets cold sometimes. Like,
yeah, especially with elevation, it gets cold. It can get cold in Utah.
Yeah. And,
But
like, I know they went through like painstaking detail to recreate the Myers house in Halloween 6. So like there are touches of that movie where I'm like, you did some of the work, then some of the work is just so shoddy.
here's one thing I want to say, especially as two people who are working on a project, we'll leave it at that. If someone were to say, what would be my advice to someone who wants to make a movie? I'd be like, go watch some of these horror movies and look at the shortcuts they took that immediately make you go, why did you do that? And obviously, budget is almost always the biggest reason, and I understand that. But now living in a digital age where someone with a phone can make a movie that's arguably more believable than almost anything you saw pre 1980. Ask yourself all these questions, like what we're doing right now with Halloween 6, and just go, how do we not have people ask that question of us? And right there, you solve 90% of your problems that you might have with your movie if you have the capability to do it. Just be like, why did you go through all this detail why'd you go through all this effort to get so much detail into putting into the original house? But you went to thunder and lightning without rain.
Well, we'll get into the building of the house and everything when we talk about the actual. I think the title of this video should just be, "What the actual fuck is the Halloween canon?"
Right.
It makes no sense.
So, but yeah. Overall, I actually enjoyed Paul Rudd a little bit here. I think the mom isn't bad. I think she's fine.
The lead?
Yeah.
Lead woman? Okay.
I don't think she's bad at all. I think she's fine. I'm not going into Halloween 6 assuming I'm going to get a tour de force of an acting legend.
She's like dollar store Nicole Kidman vibes.
Little
like
bit.
90s Nicole Kidman.
Little bit. Because I kept looking and I'm like, obviously I know she's not anybody. But
or
why?
Dollar store Jennifer Jason Leigh, maybe. Like,
yeah, it's kind of a cross.
Vibes.
It's kind of the cross between the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, dollar store vibe is the right thing. When you go to the toy section as a kid in the dollar store, and everything's just off enough where even as a kid you're like, no, come on, man.
The other dollar store one I wrote down is dollar store Philip Seymour Hoffman, like dad/grandpa.
Yes.
Like, I said he has very like pre Back to the Future Biff Tannen vibes.
Yes, he does.
Like Biff Tannen on the original timeline. That's him.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is, what else has he been in? Because I know that guy from like a couple things.
I'll look up. I don't think he's been in much. That's my guess.
The other thing is, I can also tell you this. I want to know what licensing laws actually look like, because the best attention to detail, and I know it's going to sound a bias.
He's not been in much. Like,
I know I've seen that motherfucker before.
The two biggest movies he was in was Wolf with Jack Nicholson and Michelle Pfeiffer, and then Basic Instinct. But he's probably just one of those that guy kind of character actors.
Yeah.
So.
I know it's going to sound biased, especially with right over my shoulder. The best attention to detail this movie has is the fact that they had a kid who was young in the middle of the 90s with a Power Ranger. Because that is legitimate. That's believable. And I want to know what licensing laws actually look like.
They don't give a fuck in this franchise.
Because
like they'll be in like toy stores or like costume stores, and there's clearly stuff they have not cleared that is still in the movie. I think they're just risking it, going like, this is low budget. We're just gonna risk it. Who gives a fuck?
Because I asked, I was like, it's a big enough franchise that this should cause some alarm bells.
Yeah. I know there's in Halloween 4 there's this 80s cartoon called Mask.
Yeah.
It's like one of the main costumes that someone has on. Frankenstein, but that's kind of like one of those ones that you can always get away with.
Can always get away with it as long as you do it in a certain way.
Yeah, and then there's like the Garbage Pail Kids. I know is in either 4 or 5. Like there are these weird commercial things that they just don't bother clearing.
Yeah, I'm always very interested in that because I want to know because the first naturally as a Power Ranger fan, I immediately just went Red Power Ranger. That's believable with this fucking kid in 94, 95. Okay. Yeah, it's just positives. I like the vibes. The vibes there's fun, spooky vibes. I like the fact that Loomis. I think Donald Pleasance is kind of fun, just being this crazed old man.
Well, this is like very because he dies during the making of this movie, or no, he finished it and then he died before he could do reshoots.
Okay,
Was the thing. This is like very very tame Donald Pleasance because in 4 and 5 he is overacting the shit out of it, and it is so great. Like, he's just like chewing up scenery left and right, and it's awesome. Because like the thing about Loomis is like you can argue he's just as crazy as Michael Myers. Like he is legitimately insane.
Yeah, he's
Also,
obsessed with this
doctor.
Yeah, he could be better. Could be better.
You think of a kid going in at 6 years old to a hospital, and then the doctor just goes, "Yeah, he hasn't spoken in 15 years." It's like, what kind of doctor are you? You're just supposed to be helping him with that problem.
Right, and I get it. It's psychological, so you can get away with it. But still, it's like, god damn. So, yeah, I enjoy Donald Pleasance here. I always enjoy seeing Donald Pleasance on screen.
Yeah,
and all this stuff.
Definitely doing the Tarkin style in Star Wars, where they have to bring out one person who has some chops, some charisma.
Yes, and
also it's kind of funny that like, arguably, I would say he probably plays the most iconic Bond villain, right?
With Blofeld?
Yeah, I would think most people would.
Well, Blofeld is the only recurring villain of. I would say Jaws is actually probably the most iconic, but Blofeld is the number one. But if you just went to any man on the street that knew Bond and said name a Bond villain, they'd probably give you Jaws just because it was of that ilk. But it's certainly in the discussions of it. I think the fun part is you're getting to. It's kind of like getting the band back together when you see this, and they're trying to. This is what it felt like. One of my favorite things, and why I think DC Comics was in such a good place for a really long time, that made people want to get a DCEU, and it just didn't work, was a bunch of classic characters that past generations had rooted for fell on their ass. And then they hired the right people to bring them back, number one being Jeff Johns. And this movie feels like what Jeff Johns did with The Flash, then Green Lantern, then with Aquaman. He also did with the Justice Society, where he just went, I'm going to take all this shit that doesn't really go together, and I'm going to figure out a way to put it all together, and I'm going to make it cool. And that's why all of a sudden Green Lantern goes from like, oh my god, what is this character, to this book's fucking rad, and I'll read this till the day I die, as long as there's a good writer on it, kind of thing. Is Halloween 6 feels like that, where the idea behind it is, we gotta make this make sense. The way they chose to make it make sense is a whole different ball game. But it feels like this is their attempt. We're going to bring Tommy Doyle back. You're like, who the fuck is Tommy Doyle? You're like, the little kid from the first one. You're like, okay, like, sure, I guess.
Yeah. And then
isn't the little girl Lindsay in the first one?
Lindsay, played by Kyle Richards, yes. She was apparently supposed to be, I can't remember if the main woman is supposed to be Lindsay, and then they just decide not to do that. But Lindsay was supposed to be in the movie somehow. And they do bring her back in the newest, like, sequels, the David Gordon Green ones. Her character is brought back. And so is Tommy, who's played by... Who's the guy from the Vacation movies? The son, Rusty?
Oh, Anthony Michael Hall?
Yeah, he's played by Anthony Michael Hall in those.
Hell yeah. Happy to have Anthony Michael Hall work at all times. Love Anthony Michael Hall.
He's not good in it.
I don't know. I've never seen him. Don't know. I'm just happy the guy's still working because I always enjoy seeing him show up.
Yeah.
It just didn't... There's so many open threads in this movie. After, like, the dad, after what you did, and then you never learn what she did outside of had a child out of wedlock.
I think that is the thing. I think that is what you did. Like, he is literally cinema's worst dad of all time.
That says a lot, Dylan. I don't know if you can go that far.
No, you can't go that far because, like, obviously there's movies about, like, really dark shit.
Yes.
But in terms of, like, comically bad, he is the standard. Like,
yes,
he is such a dick at all times.
Yes.
He has zero redeeming moments throughout the entire movie.
Actually, he doesn't redeem himself, but I did enjoy him when he's drunk, going around with the flashlight until he finds the bloody sheets. Where he's just like, "Ooh, Michael, I'm so scared," and he's like dancing around. I was like, I like this drunk motherfucker because he's at least somewhat entertaining. But that's never explicitly said. And I know we're big fans of show don't tell, but you can't just say after what you did and not show it or not tell it at all.
I have no problem with that, just because that would add on more time to this movie, which it does not.
Well, I only say that because the whole time, especially, I understand. I am not what an audience member is theoretically supposed to be for this. It's not supposed to be, hey, my brother's never watched Halloween, so I'm going to run a social experiment on him and see if he can guess the timeline. But
he calls us an innocent 6-year-old a bastard.
Yes.
To his face.
Yes. It's hilarious. But what I was saying is, it just doesn't make any sense. I'm like, did she, like, have a relationship with Michael Myers? Did she, like, escape a cult? Like,
that's something we'll talk about.
Like, that's all
Not her,
but this is all stuff that I'm like, was she involved in some way, shape, or form?
No.
Because they have all those weird, blurry-ass flashbacks from, I'm assuming, what is 5 at the beginning of the movie? And I was like, is she this woman? Is it the other one? I was like, math-wise, that doesn't make sense, but math doesn't seem to be their biggest problem here. So, their biggest concern.
So, the shitty dad is the brother of Laurie Strode's father.
I figured that one out.
So he's Laurie's uncle. Making... So that woman would be, what, cousins?
Yes.
With Laurie?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's the connection in there. And then they're living in the Myers house for some reason.
Because his brother couldn't sell it.
Yes. Yeah. Like, it makes no sense why they're in the Myers house. It adds absolutely nothing to the movie.
Correct.
It's so stupid.
Well, if you're in his house, then he thinks you're his family, and you're like, that's the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard. It's so dumb. The only thing you have to go off of that is, why is Laurie being the one haunted by Michael Myers in 1? Well, he saw her.
Well, that's one of the nice things I really like about this newer David Gordon Green Halloweens, is it's just random happenstance. Like, that's it. Like, in the first one, they don't explain anything why it's Laurie or why it's Annie being stalked.
Yeah.
Like, they don't explain it, and that's perfect. But you'll see when we talk about the actual canon, they do try to explain it. Yeah, some of the notes, I just want to rip through some of my notes. I said the granny's got some real Coral Dozier vibes. And she's like running around the house being a busybody.
That's inside for us. That's inside baseball for
Yeah,
Dylan and I. That's our grandmother.
that's her grandma. When Tommy says to the woman, "You're in danger. Come with me," I was like, that sounds like a threat coming from this creep.
Yes, it
Like,
does.
she has no reason to trust him. He goes into her house with her kid and just is holding a random ass baby that she's never seen before.
Yep.
So it's like, why would she come with that person?
Exactly.
No one ever would. Pop's electrocuted, and then the other thing that I wrote down was they're having sex around like 5,000 lit candles. That's not safe.
That's not safe.
And then I also wrote down one other note, which was just a quote that I love. I think Michael is under the influence of an evil rune. some some writer wrote that on the script
And was like, yeah.
and then producers read it, directors filmed it, editors edited it into the movie. It passed all those to get through to the final cut. Like, who looks at that line and goes, "Yep, perfect." It's so stupid.
Well, can we talk about the ending of Halloween 6 too to set up our canon shot? Do you have any notes I want to say? Do you have any notes to finish?
Did you catch the incest plot point?
No.
About how... Oh, maybe you didn't realize. Okay, never mind. I'll talk about it later when we talk about canon.
Okay. Is Jamie his sister?
Jamie is his cousin. No. Not cousin. Niece. And that's one thing about the theatrical cut that I do like, is they don't mention that it's Michael's kid at all. Like, because that just adds some weird wrinkle to the Michael Myers mythology that does not fit at all.
No, it doesn't. And it's gross. Just gross.
Yeah.
It's bad heat. It's bad heat in a way you don't want your audience members going.
Am I surprised that Harvey Weinstein wanted it in the movie? No, not really.
Well, now that we know what we know, of course not. But so this movie ends with the only time Donald Pleasance is like real over the top bad is the last scene that you see. The last scene he's ever shown in. It's so bad. It's so
and you know what's funny is in the theatrical cut, they don't have the thing where he like the rune just all of a sudden appears on his wrist.
Yeah.
They don't have that part. They cut out the runes. They just have Tommy beating Michael with like a 2x4. Just constantly beating him over the head.
What?
And like green goo is coming out of his head and stuff. It's so stupid. But they have that little scene. They have that little scene where Pleasance is talking to them in the car, and he tells them to drive away. He has unfinished business. And then they cut there. They just cut on black, and then you just hear Loomis screaming. Like the scream from the end, they put that in the theatrical cut, but for no reason. So it's just like, what?
I think it might be. There? I think it might be better than showing the rune, because he's like steady and in agony, and then all of a sudden he's just like. It's almost as if he looks around.
It's great.
Now,
great action.
And then just goes, ah! It's like, why?
Out of nowhere, he just screams. Yeah, I love it. That's the Pleasance we need.
It makes no sense. But Michael is theoretically on his own, left to his own devices now. The implication was he's been under someone's control this whole time.
Yep.
And now he's on his own and he can do as he pleases. He can do as he please.
That plot point of he's under the control is 100% just part 6. Like, they explained it with that. Like.
Okay, so let's start our timeline chat. Also, I will say this quickly. I will give the original Halloween a 6 out of 10, maybe 6.5 out of 10.
Crazy.
Maybe actually no, I'll go to a 7. I'll go to a 7. I think
That's in my top 20. I love the first Halloween so much.
I know you do. I can't say it's that good of a movie, but there's some standout pieces and moments that I think are very fun.
You also saw it at a very late age. Like, I saw it growing up.
Yeah.
When I was probably like 8.
Which also just shows the parenting that was happening in our household. But
yeah. I remember those AMC, like, Fright Fest stuff.
Yeah.
Where they just show Halloweens the entire day. Like, I would watch all of them.
So, and then Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers.
I'll say in terms of enjoyment, it's like a 7 for me. But in terms of actual movie, it's like 0.5 out of 10. Like,
I'll give it a 3 out of 10.
Here's a question.
It's dumb and silly fun.
Is it better than Sleepaway Camp as a movie?
Oh, yeah, that's not even a question, Dylan. Like, it's better than Sleepaway Camp.
I don't know.
Here's the thing, though, Dylan. You have a high degree change of acting, which I'm not saying Halloween 6 is full of great acting, but the acting it's not even a close discussion of the acting. The writing and the dialogue is so bad in both, but Halloween 6 looks like a masterclass of dialogue as opposed to Sleepaway Camp. Like, Dylan. I know
Michael's under the influence of an evil room. You don't see that in Sleepaway Camp.
Meanwhile, yeah, you just get bastards, pricks, cocksuckers. Like,
yeah. Okay, so jumping into the canon, I'll give you the years that the movies came out.
Okay.
So Halloween 2 comes out in 81.
I did see that.
Later.
And Michael Returns, my guess is, and it's more It's more spooky season style.
I'll say Michael Returns. He's in all of them except Part 3, which is Season of the Witch, which we're just gonna ignore because that's completely outside of the franchise. Really,
I enjoyed the half of the movie that I saw. I enjoyed Season of the Witch.
It's kind of like a cult classic now. I think most people really like it. I love the part where a kid's like his head just turns into bugs and snakes and shit. It's crazy. And then Halloween 4 is 1988. Part 5 is 89, so 1 year later. I want to say Part 3 is 83, but let me make sure that. And then Halloween 6 is 95.
So Part 3, they like go back and they kind of retcon.
So Part 3 is actually 82, but it literally has nothing to do with the Halloween mythology.
Right.
Because it was supposed to be... Honestly, it's a pretty good idea. It's just John Carpenter kind of wanted to view the Halloween stuff as an anthology where like you could do anything you want within
which I agree
Halloween.
With. I agree with that. And you can always go back to Michael when you want to.
Exactly. That's why I like that idea. It just went nowhere with it.
Well, it's clear that the problem is they didn't do it with 2. They did it in 3. Because if they would have done it in 2, maybe it works. Because then you can start going, this is an anthology series, and I get it. Maybe you might get Michael. Maybe you won't. But because you do Halloween 2, everyone just goes, where the fuck is Michael Myers?
Exactly. That's why that movie flopped, Halloween 3, because everyone was like, what?
Yeah.
What is this? It has like a Stonehenge plot in it. It's so stupid. 81 is Halloween 2.
Okay.
I guess the first question is, how far of a jump into the future do you think it is?
Give me 2 years.
It is the exact same night as Halloween 1.
Okay.
It completely undoes the great ending of Halloween 1 and says, nope, Michael just walked off. So, Laurie's in it.
Okay.
What's the next logical step for her?
Well, go someplace safe and fucking chill the fuck out.
Well, she got stabbed or slashed,
Oh yeah, she goes to the hospital and gets fucking
so she
figured
goes
out.
to the hospital, and that's pretty much where the entire movie takes place. The hospital. Also, Abby should really watch Halloween 2 because their portrayal of a hospital is awful. Like, there's like two nurses working the whole hospital. Absolutely, it's like not lit at all. It's like really dark corridors and everything. Like, it looks nothing like a hospital.
Understaffing in hospitals is real, but yes, the lighting and everything else, not good.
There's one nurse handling all the patients, and then one nurse handling like the where all they keep all the babies. Like that, those are the only two nurses in
A
the
little
entire
NICU?
house.
Yeah. Okay.
They have a hot tub that gets up to scalding. Like they literally have it as a setting as scalding.
What?
It's so dumb. So okay,
So fucking stupid, dude.
you know Michael Myers is in it. What do you
Uh-huh.
think happens to him?
Oh, he's gotta get scalded. He's gotta get scalded. You gotta.
No, he
Oh,
doesn't.
that's bullshit.
He does. He does kill someone with that. He I think he dunks her head into it. One of the nurses, and
Naturally.
then her skin just starts like falling off and stuff.
What?
It's pretty lackluster. It's a lot of Halloween 2 is just
Does Carpenter come back for 2?
he does not direct it.
Okay.
He does write. I think he wrote the script. I know he wrote the story at least because they give an explanation of why it's Laurie. Are you aware of this?
No.
So in Halloween 2, they reveal that Laurie is Michael's little sister. And that's why he's going after her. Everyone, even John Carpenter, well, John Carpenter first, he admitted that he was completely drunk when he wrote it. Like, absolutely out of his gourd drunk.
You gotta respect the honesty.
Oh, no, I really respect John Carpenter because he does not seem to give a fuck. He's like, whatever, I'm going to tell the truth no matter what. But he was like, yeah, we shouldn't have done that plot point. It's stupid. And it is. It is dumb.
Oh, God.
So then,
So she's adopted?
no. She was a baby when Michael killed Judith. Because they do have like little flashbacks where they show young Laurie coming to visit Michael in the like asylum.
Okay.
It's really stupid. It's just it's bad. Loomis, what do you think he's doing in Halloween 2?
Oh, just lurking around looking for Michael, try to put him down.
Pretty much. And then at the end, he shoots Michael, seemingly in both eyes, because he shoots him and you see blood like falling down his face. So technically speaking, Michael should be blinded for the rest of the franchise. They never really go with that. And then at the very end, he turns on some kind of gas, and then him and Michael explode in this fire, and they show prolonged shots of Michael on fire.
So he blows up a hospital?
Pretty much. With no regard to any of the patients or any of the babies in the hospital.
This is awesome. This is awesome in all the wrong ways.
Yeah. So then Halloween 4 is 1988. That has a long hiatus after Halloween 3 because obviously they kind of need to do something different.
They want to get the taste out of people's mouths. Yeah.
So, how do you think Laurie connects to that movie?
Laurie is a young mom and having to protect her child in some way, shape, or form. Because now it's the...
Jamie Lee Curtis does not return for 4, 5, or 6.
Okay, so she just gone?
She has a kid, and that kid is the the character you're following.
Is that Jamie from 6 then?
Yes. And that's Danielle Harris, who is like, honestly, I would say like her performance in Halloween 4 is like, in the books, is like one of the best child performances. She has no right to be that good. It's like Elliot in E.T. level of acting. She is fantastic.
No way. No way.
Quentin Tarantino, even he was like, because he was approached to write Halloween 6 because he had just worked with Miramax, the Weinsteins, doing Pulp Fiction. So they're like, hey, do you want to write Halloween 6? And he almost did. And then, he was talking about, like, in an interview, like, how fantastic Danielle Harris is in that movie. Like, she's fantastic. So they follow her. So that would mean Michael is her uncle.
Yep.
So when do you think this mysticism stuff starts coming up?
I gotta assume it's already in 4, but if something's telling me it doesn't even come out till 6. So
you'd be correct. It does not come out until 6.
Yes.
Like, literally, in that interview with Tarantino, he talks about, you know how that guy, he has like cowboy boots and spurs and like
why?
a hat and everything.
Why?
He's called the Man in Black because they set him up in part 5, but they pulled like a new Star Wars trilogy thing where they set up stuff but have no explanation for it yet.
As one does.
In part 5, they set up the Man in Black with no future thought of who he actually is. They show him like stepping off a bus, and all they show is like his boots and spurs. It's dumb. So part 4, obviously, it's Michael, just coming to terrorize. They do another soft reboot thing, like all franchises do, seemingly, where it's pretty much just the first movie in the future. Like, so he is being transferred out of an asylum. The car breaks. No, he wakes up and kills the people who's transferring him.
Naturally.
So that's how he escapes. And then, he just returns to try to kill Jamie. Even though he should really have no reason to know she's alive.
Correct.
I'm trying to think if they must give some explanation that I just can't remember. But, they do show the one thing that Jamie Lee Curtis is in. Jamie has a picture of her, which is just a picture from the set of Halloween 1. Like, it's just a press photo. You can easily tell. It's really funny. So, Michael comes back, try to get revenge on her. And then Halloween 4, how do you think it ends?
Michael being stabbed with a spear through the heart and having no internal organ to pump blood whatsoever, and he rips the spear out and then falls to his death. Then Danielle Harris, the character, Jamie, goes away on her lonesome to go back to her mom.
What did the late 80s really fetishize? In terms of violence.
What didn't they fetishize is the question, Dylan.
It ends with just a group of townies just shooting up Michael. There's 10 of them, and they're all just plugging him. It's really dumb. And then he falls down like a mine shaft or
What?
some kind of well of some sort, and that's how the movie ends. So you're like, okay, Michael must be dead, but of course, no, he
Nope.
returns in part 5. So this is where it's still Jamie. I'll give you that. Part 4 also has she's the daughter of his family. Both parents, I think, die. I want to say,
So
but the older
Lori.
sister,
So Lori's dead.
Lori, is dead. Yeah, she's
Why?
was killed in a car accident just because they couldn't get Jamie Lee Curtis back. 100%.
Gotcha.
Like that was why they did that. Yes, so she's a foster daughter. Her and her bigger sister both survive part 4. They come back for part 5. And then they do this inexplicable thing where, from the trauma or something, Jamie no longer speaks. So the entire time, the best actress in the whole movie doesn't talk until the very, very end. It's like such a waste of a performance for Danielle Harris.
Oh
She's
my
still
god.
great in the movie, but and then the lead, who was the older sister in part 4, gets very quickly killed off in part 5.
Huh.
And then her friend takes up the mantle of like the main character. But yeah, it just Michael returns. Originally, it was going to be kind of like the Satanic Panic kind of stuff in the 80s, where this like young, like cultish guy nursed Michael back to health and stuff. But in the theatrical release, it's just some old dude who plucks him from the river and then nurses him back to health. And
Jesus Christ.
this is the first example of the tattoo of the rune. But again, they set it up with nothing in mind for the future.
This is so dumb. Also, what happened? I gotta ask this question because I don't know how much more of this I can actually handle without just being like, what the fuck? Loomis has skin grafts apparently in 6.
So because he got burnt up in part 2.
Okay, so Loomis isn't in 4 or 5 at all.
No, he is. But, I mean, he's just doing his Loomis thing, where he comes to town, warns everyone about how evil Michael is. No one believes him. Actually, in part 4, they do believe him pretty much immediately. But yeah, he's just doing his Loomis things.
Talking about a harbinger of death. You see Dr. Loomis and you're like, just leave. Just fucking leave.
I left out a big part of part 4. At the very end, they try to set up this weird like connection that Jamie and Michael have. So at the very end, Jamie kills her foster mother because she's dressed as a clown. So they're doing like an homage to the first one, the beginning of the first,
Yeah.
where Michael kills his sister. For some reason, they decided to kill the foster mother rather than the foster sister, which would have made 10 times more sense.
If you're gonna do something stupid, yes.
Yeah, exactly. So it ends with her just on the stairs with a pair of scissors that are all bloody from stabbing the foster mother. And then Loomis almost pulls out his gun and shoots her. It's really funny. Like, he almost just takes out his gun and just blows away this 6-year-old girl. That's where it gets peak Loomis, where it's just like, dear Lord. So yeah, that trauma and whatever else she's going through, that's why they have Jamie silent throughout the movie.
So
Michael,
she's killed. But
Jamie?
yeah, no, Jamie's killed people.
Oh yeah, she killed her foster mother. Yeah.
What the What the fuck? What the fuck?
They just keep her in a hospital for like little kids, and then one of the kids just has a stutter. Apparently, that's why he's in the hospital. Just for that. Like,
That's so cruel.
I know it's really funny. Part 5. I think of the ending here. Oh, okay. So they catch Michael finally.
Oh my god.
They have him in a prison cell. And then all of a sudden there's all this shooting. And
God.
like the police station is set on fire, and then they show that Michael has escaped. With the help from the man in black.
What?
So that's where we leave part 5. Is Jamie as a little kid.
What is this flashback I see of like this girl and this dark-haired girl who I'm assuming is Jamie, like calling out to Michael, and then the voice of the man in black going like, "Come to me, Jamie." Like, it looks like she's like in the rain looking for Michael. And Michael's like, "No, come to me." It's almost like they're being separated as if they're father and son or father and daughter, but
No idea.
It sounds like this franchise. This is the kind of thing where
I don't think the man in black and Jamie ever interact. I'm trying to think. I don't think so.
This is the kind of thing where if someone said, "Make sense of this as an editor," I'd be like, "You need to pay me more." Because I'll do it.
Exactly.
But I'm going to have to do a lot here.
Yeah, Tarantino in that interview, he goes, "Yeah, I was approached to write part 6, and my whole job was to try to explain who the man in black was." Like, because they had no plan. They were just like, "Whatever, we'll figure it out later."
The thing is like, I think there are interesting avenues to go because it's a horror franchise. It doesn't have to be. One of the things I think that is negative in a post MCU world, a post comic book world, is you can't get away with a lot of the stuff you used to, where it has to have a deep backstory explanation to why everything is happening. You can't just do family killed, revenge. Like, you can't do stuff like that as much anymore. You need to see them go through like 20 to 30 minutes of trauma, and then you can accept that that's what's happening. Or it has to be John Wick, where it's fast, but you're just like, fuck those people. Yeah, kill every one of them, John.
Explanation.
Yes, like, you're just like, I want John to kill everybody because they killed his dog.
Yeah. And part 5 is called The Revenge of Michael Myers.
What revenge does he even get?
Exactly, I was going to say, like, what does he have to avenge? Like, what reason does he have to get revenge on any? He's the one causing all the problems.
This is why, you know what? This is a perfect textbook example. I don't know if there's any more timeline stuff you really want to go through, but
the only thing to bring up is, yeah, they introduced Jamie in part 6 as an older woman who has just had a baby. And then at the end, they imply that Michael is the father. Out of nowhere. Yep. Completely left field for his character, and really, like, disrespectful to Jamie's character, who has been, like, really a solid character throughout the...
Bad decisions. Bad decisions all around.
Yeah.
The thing is this. I understand now, simply because of I hold my beer, I could do this better kind of mentality. I would be intrigued if someone said, "Hey, Evan, do you think you could do better?" I'd be like, "I know I can make it more coherent, so sure, I'll take the job." Like, I would love if someone said, "Halloween's on its ass, but it makes us money."
6 years after part 5, they're making part 6. Why? So effectively, there's, trying to think here, 4 reboots of the franchise, because you have Halloween and Halloween 2. Halloween 4 is a technical sequel to Halloween Part 2, and then you get 4, 5, 6. That ends out 1. And then you have Halloween 1, Halloween 2, Halloween H2O, which is Halloween 20 years later, with
So
Jamie
dumb.
Lee Curtis returns, and that's just a direct sequel to Part 2. They completely disregard 4, 5, 6. And then Halloween Resurrection is a sequel to that. And then you have a complete reboot with the zombie movies. And then you have Halloween 2018, which is a direct sequel to Halloween 1. And it completely disregards Halloween 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. H2O Resurrection. So, like, there are 4 effective reboots in the entire franchise.
Not to mention the effort to try to make it an anthology series that doesn't work in the middle of the original. Oh my god, this is such fucking messy.
So you have Halloween 4, which is a sequel to Halloween 1 and 2. You have Halloween H2O, which is a sequel to Halloween 2. Then you have Halloween 2018, which is a direct sequel to Halloween 1. And also in this franchise, you get 3 movies that are called just Halloween. Because you have the first one, the zombie one is just called Halloween, and then Halloween 2018 is just called Halloween. So the sequel to Halloween is Halloween.
So
kind of like they did the thing that Scream did, where Scream 5 is just called Scream, even though it's a direct sequel to Scream 4.
It's been long enough that you can just call it what it is, and it's fine.
I hate that, though. It just doesn't make sense.
No, of course. I mean, that's why I have no problem with in these legacy sequels if someone literally just slaps on legacy. 'Cause I'm like, fine, whatever. It's lazy, and I don't like it, but at least it's not just renaming it the exact same thing.
Yeah, I think the 2 laziest things to put in a title, though, are legacy or resurrection. Those are like the 2 that I would avoid at all costs.
So, I did want to bring this up. I forgot to put this in to the Halloween 6 discussion. It's not pronounced Samhain. It's pronounced Samhain. And the fact that no one thought about that.
All the fans all point that out.
Just, what are we doing? I think it'd be hilarious if they just went and named the title Samhain. Of a sequel. Samhain.
No one would understand.
It's fine. Who cares? No one understands this timeline anyways. So who gives a shit?
Yeah. So is there any
fucking call it?
Questions
just call it Halloween: The Runes of Samhain.
Is there any lingering questions you have?
I mean, a billion in terms of how the fuck did we get here, but none that I actually care about. This is...
Yeah. So the mysticism is completely a Part 6 thing.
Why?
That's how they try to explain it.
Oh my
god. There's
god.
no evidence of, like, Michael being controlled by some organization in any of them except Part 6. Like, H2O is 100% just Michael returns because Laurie is his sister.
Honestly, okay, let's do this. Let's just have a little fun here. Spitball, very top of the head. You're hired to do 6. After the first 5 parts. How do you make sense of everything?
Well, knowing what I know now, I would just probably recommend just reboot the goddamn thing. Just make a sequel to whatever one you want to make a sequel to. I'm forced to make a sequel to Part 5. You know what I'm doing? I'm pretty much doing the exact same thing as Part 4 and 5, where it's just Michael returning and killing people. I'm not adding in any mythology. I'll say, like, I mean, you kind of have to explain the Man in Black, I guess.
Yeah, you do.
Because you don't technically have to. You could just go, yep, he was just some guy.
Because the thing is, this is what I'm thinking is, I like the idea of cult, but not the way they portrayed it. What I would do if I was spitballing would be, the Man in Black is like a religious zealot, who he sees Michael's like the angel of death. So the reason Michael keeps coming back is he just literally follows Michael around, as he, like, worships him, essentially. He nurses him back to health to the point where he can just fucking murder people. And that's it. And you have to take out the Man in Black, and you have to take out Michael. And if you wanted to, then, you could take out Michael for real for a couple movies and just worry about the Man in Black.
You know what I would actually probably do? I'd probably just have the Man in Black be some kind of fanatical, crazy person that just is obsessed with Michael.
Yeah.
And just have Michael kill the Man in Black in the first couple scenes. Like he helps him escape from prison, but then because Michael, he doesn't have a conscience, he doesn't have any kind of like motives really.
No.
So I would just have him kill him. Be like, whatever. He was useful to Michael, but Michael does not give a shit.
Yeah.
So he just kills him. That's probably what I would do.
Yeah, I could agree with that premise. That's also there. It's a sweeping under the rug of anything bad. Just be like, nope.
Yeah. Then like the tattoo, the rune, the Cult of Thorn stuff, I'm just not acknowledging it. I just do like what the Star Wars new trilogy did with midichlorians. Where they're just like, no, we're not going to mention them at all. Like, there's not a need to explain everything.
No. The problem is once you start, you kind of have to finish that route. And
I disagree. I think you just ignore it. No one gives a fuck anyways. Who cares?
yeah, I mean, that is the comic book fan in me. That's just like, you gotta explain it somehow. But, God, it's vexing because that's an example of corporate greed. Where this is a franchise where the first one, shoestring budget, it's not very...
$100,000.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that when I just Googled it to see who had it and if it was streaming anywhere. And it's a film that those movies stand up over time because they're just purely what they are, and they just unabashedly are what they are. That's it. And then they're like, well, let's do another one. It's like, okay, fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
But then you got to either end it or find a way to continue it in an interesting new way. Those are the two options.
Yeah. It also doesn't help that following part 1, part 2 is a studio movie owned by Universal after the first one. If I remember correctly, Quentin Tarantino, his Halloween 6 that he thought of was going to be like road movie where the Man in Black and Michael are traveling around the country and killing people, I'm assuming.
Hell
I don't
yeah.
know what I just know I remember him saying it was going to be like them traveling all over the country. That's all I remember.
You know what? I fucking love it. I fucking love it because I can see because it's just Kill Bill.
Yeah, or it's just like Natural Born Killers.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what that movie is. Which he ends up writing. I think in '94 isn't Natural Born Killers.
Yeah, I think in '94 is Natural Born Killers.
So he pretty much just took his Halloween 6 idea and just made a different movie.
Yeah. Did you get what you wanted out of this? In my not be able to do anything reaction.
That's the thing is like there's no good way of like no one can actually do what the franchise does where they try to explain it because it's so stupid.
Yes. Very true. Oh God. Good times though. Good times. I am glad I watched both, honestly, because I had fun with both of them in some way, shape, or form. I multitasked during them as well, working on another project, but nonetheless.
That's fair.
I made sure to pay attention and stop what I was doing if it seemed like we were in some more intense moments or more really crucial moments to each plot.
Okay, so I just looked it up real quick. Tarantino's version would have had Michael Myers and the Man in Black fleeing Haddonfield together, going on a road trip down Route 66, stopping at coffee shops in random places, and Michael killing at every stop. Like, that's all it was, I guess.
So it's Natural Born Killers and Halloween meets No Country for Old Men, essentially.
Yeah, and then apparently it says the fact that Tarantino's Halloween 6 wouldn't have featured the Cult of Thorn already makes it better. Like, he was not going to have any kind of cult element. I wanted to actually look up his quotes, but I can't find them. But
Wild.
yeah, I mean, I totally understand why he would do that.
Makes no sense to continue the rest of it, so yeah. Jesus
I mean,
Christ.
I to be honest, I do understand why they chose the way they did. It's just an execution. It's awful.
Yeah. At least I can see what they're trying to do, but it just doesn't stick to the landing, and it's an interesting way to go, though. But that has been what the fuck is the Halloween canon, I guess.
There's one other thing that people should do if you're curious about Halloween. Look up all the different masks from each movie, because some of them are like unbelievably bad. And in H2O, there's actually a scene where, for some reason, the mask is CG out of nowhere, just one shot. It looks awful. It's so stupid, but
oh god. But that has been what the fuck is the canon to Halloween and the social experiment that Dylan has put me on. But that is gonna do it, folks. I hope you all enjoyed yourselves. I highly recommend go do this for yourself if you haven't, so you can understand what the fuck's going on, because it actually was kind of fun just to be like, what the fuck is happening right now?
They're fun movies. Like, I enjoy all of them for some sort of reason.
Yeah, so, but that has been it. We're going to hit you guys up with another Spooky Season episode very soon. We got plenty to catch up on the top 100 and other stuff to do, and we'll figure that out. We're going to give a fill-in episode as well for some lost episodes during that series, so we'll take care of that as well. But thank you guys so much for watching and listening wherever you are. We appreciate it. Thanks for the comeback. Peace, love, and hugs to you all. Goodbye!